Joining me right now is Florida Senator Rick Scott, a member of the Senate Homeland Security, Armed Services, and Budget Committees. He's also the former governor of Florida. Senator, it's good to see you. Thanks very much for being here. Your reaction to Ron DeSantis dropping out?
Well, all of Florida's in for Donald Trump. Look, I endorsed Trump a long time ago because here's a guy that secured the border. We have a president that won't secure the border. Here's a president that created a great economy. Look at our economy today. And here's a president that kept us out of war. Look, we're in two major conflicts right now. So Trump's going to have a big win. I'm glad Ron DeSantis endorsed him yesterday, and I look forward to Trump running through all these primaries and us winning in November.
Yeah, well, let me get your take on that, because did you see the Biden-Harris tweets over the weekend? They're calling themselves the Dream Team.
Well, I think they should be the nightmare team. Yeah. I mean, you look at this, we have a border that's completely open. We've got drugs, criminals, terrorists come across our border. The economy's tough, especially for a poor family like my family growing up. We now have our servicemen and women at risk. They're being shot at by the Houthis. I mean, I don't know what Biden can run on. The budget's out of control. We have $34 trillion worth of debt. We're running $2 trillion deficits. I don't know what he can say has worked in the last 3 years.
Yeah. Well, look, let's talk about the border, because Senate border negotiations said that the deal being talked about right now could be finalized by this week. But look, let's face it, voters, viewers, they're upset with the Republicans, Senator. You know that. OK, it seems like you guys just can't get it across the finish line. You and your colleagues were complaining about the border. You said you were going to dig in. You aren't going to have a continuing resolution. What do we get? We got a continuing resolution. Nancy Pelosi's spending still in place now until March. Is the thinking now you're going to get all the appropriations bills done by March 1st and March 8th, or are we going to have another continuing resolution?
Well, no, we're going to have, it looks like what we're going to have is a McConnell-Schumer omnibus, just like we did every year I've been up there. What happens is they act like, oh, we're going to really work hard at this. We don't have any votes on it. I'm on the budget committee. We don't have meetings about the budget. This is McConnell and Schumer saying they want to decide what we spend money on. They'll make the decision. They'll add 7,500 earmarks at the end, and they'll try to cram it down our throat. They're saying, oh, if you don't support this, the government's going to fall apart. The world will end. We'll have plague and all these things. So all this is just a game that McConnell and Schumer play to waste more money. $34 trillion worth of debt.
That's right. So what about the border? Do you believe that you and your colleagues will actually move the needle on the border? Because now President Biden is telling people that, well, he's known this for 10 years, that the border is not secure. He said, no, the border is not secure. He said that on Friday to reporters. I guess it has something to do with the fact that the primary is tomorrow and the election is 288 days away.
So I guess Mayorkas has been lying all this time, because Mayorkas keeps saying the border is secure every time we come to testify. So here's where we are. We don't know what the deal is. They won't tell us what the deal is. If it's such a good deal, let's put it out in the public. Let the public hear about it. Right? But here's what we know. McConnell has already said we're not going to tie border security to Ukraine aid, meaning that we're not going to require a reduction in the number of people come across the border to get monthly aid to Ukraine. So that's wrong. People want a real border security. They might want to support Ukraine, but we do want to get these numbers down to Trump numbers. We don't need a change in the law, actually. Trump did it with the same laws that Biden has now. Biden has just decided not to do it. It's a lawless administration. So why do we believe a new bill with no metrics to say you've got to reduce the numbers now to get Ukraine aid is going to make a difference? So I haven't seen the bill. I don't know why they won't show us the bill. It must not. If the way I look at it is, if it's such a great bill, give it to us. Let the public read it, and let's all decide if it's a good bill or not.
Yeah, oh, that's a good point. So what about this? You haven't seen any right-through on this bill, this supplemental. Is the supplemental expected to be just money to Ukraine, money to Israel, or is it supposed to include the border?
Well, I don't believe there's any chance we'll have a supplemental without some border bill. Whether it's a good or a bad bill, there will be something in there so people can say, oh, yeah, I worked to secure the border. But the bottom line is, if the border doesn't get secure now, then we've failed. We didn't succeed. So, we need to have a better idea why we're helping Ukraine, why we're spending this amount of money. Are we going to give them lethal aid? What's the Biden administration plan to do something? Is it to plan to win? Is it plan to get to a ceasefire? What's their plan? We don't know. We actually are going to have a Republican conference meeting this week to have some of these conversations, but we don't get told any of these things. We're just expected at the last minute, oh, you have to vote on this bill or somehow the world's going to fall apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just economic policy and all of the spending, Senator. It's also foreign policy that people are questioning of this administration. 2 Navy SEALs now presumed dead after Central Command called off a 10-day search. They went missing, as you know, during a mission to find weapons that Iran was sending to the Houthi rebels. The Houthis also launched a barrage of missiles and rockets at U.S. forces at the Al-Assad Air Base in Iraq. Several military personnel injured there. Some troops were evaluated for traumatic brain injury, Senator. What are we supposed to do? What is the response to Iran, given all of these attacks by Iranian proxies on our troops in the Middle East?
Well, first off, I served in the Navy. I never expected the President of the United States to put me in harm's way unless we had a plan. And what this president has done by being soft on Iran, soft on the Houthis, soft on everybody around the world, he's putting our men and women at risk. We need peace through strength. We need to show the world, if you do not mess with the American military. But what we do is we put the military out there. We get shot at. We very rarely go back against our enemies. Why aren't we killing the Houthi leadership? We have the ability to do this. They need to die. If you want to shoot at an American soldier, you will die. That has to be our policy.
Well, I got to tell you, Senator, I don't think anybody's shaking in their boots about America and what America will do if, in fact, you're shooting at our troops. And that pains me to say that, really. But I want to talk China for a moment, because we've seen a similar lack of response to communist China that we have to Iran. And you have a new bill which is targeting imports from China, specifically garlic imports from China. You call it the Communist China's sewage garlic. Tell us about the bill and what the issue is, sir.
China wants to demolish our way of life. We need to stop buying anything from China. We need to stop today. Look at every package. If it says China, it's bad for you. Take garlic as an example. Chinese garlic has 70% market share. You go to your grocery store, if you can buy Chinese garlic there, here's what you're buying. You're buying garlic grown in sewage water and human feces. It's black when it's finished. They bleach it. To make it look white.
Are you serious?
And they're giving it they want to sell it to your kids.
How do we know if it's from China or not?
Well, what's nice is that for produce, you have to disclose country of origin at the grocery store. Unfortunately, for packaged goods, you don't. So you could buy a packaged good that has, like, cinnamon as an example, made with Chinese cinnamon that has lead in it and hurt yourself. But at least with produce, we do that.
All right, we'll be watching that, Senator. Thanks very much for being here this morning.